All right, and we're live.
Wonderful. Greetings, everybody. We are back around again today to have more of this YouTube live streaming fun. Today, I've been carrying my SHOT Show Reptilian.
Well, ain't you fancy?
Yeah, with a nice red barrel spacers on her.
It is nice and red.
Mm-hmm.
It's another M4 blade. Can't help but
That
notice. Can't help but notice. Yeah.
Something about
this
that
one
M4.
wasn't bought for the blade, though, at the time, so...
I got week 2. Still carrying the Rhino. Still
Yep.
very much in honeymoon phase. Yeah.
Most definitely.
Lovely.
What are you rocking there, Jim?
I double whammy today. I bought some new stuff for myself recently, and I have been loving it. So this guy is a Voking Knives T04 in M390 in titanium. And the eagle-eyed among you will notice that
Vokun?
it's Voking, V-O-U-K-I-N-G knives. Ball bearing, pretty similar profile to the crossbones. So, kinda had to pick it up.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, I like that thing a lot.
May have let Paul play with it today. It was pretty great. I also had this in my back pocket because why not?
Because you're silly.
Yeah. Couldn't resist, specifically because this is the version of the holdout Cold Steel made with XHP. So I wanted that before they were impossible to find.
Yeah.
That's it. And this week, I'm rocking the Fox Tur. What's it called? Oh my god, my brain is dumb. Elmax and carbon fiber. How do you go wrong?
It's a good thing at least one of those two things is labeled.
Yep. Just quick shout out to John. John's in the chat with
Hello.
Hey.
and Justin as well.
Good day.
John, what are you carrying in your pocket tonight, bud? Justin, same question. And Zinx, welcome aboard. Same question to you. What are you carrying tonight?
It'll be a second. We shouldn't wait.
No. Hey, how about we all flash what we're carrying again
It's not a terrible idea.
while we wait. Dennis, get that pocket jewelry.
Those damn YouTube delays.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by your Voking.
It's fun.
I'm
It's
gonna
fun.
really mispronounce it, but yeah. So
It cut me.
The
That's how
thing,
you know it's good.
this is as good an edge as every Cold Steel that I've ever bought. It's fantastic.
you haven't bought the Frontier Bowie.
I've handled the Frontier Bowie though.
It was terrible out of the box.
Oh, fair enough.
Most Cold Steel knives are pretty on par.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
So for the record, Darren says get a haircut, Joe.
No.
John is carrying the steel wheel cut jack. Zinx is carrying the SE Zencardo.
Yeah, he's been showing that off a ton lately.
That's the one with the orange and black handles, right? That thing's sick. And then Justin saying boxers don't have pockets and gym shorts aren't really prime carry territory.
So have a neck knife, man.
Yeah, what the hell?
I've got mini bug outs on the shelf that are Star Wars themed. Like, what else does Justin want? Like,
Yeah, like those won't weigh down sweatpants at all.
We also have Dragon Icer in the chat, and he's carrying the MKM Farah and the Giant Mouse Ace Grand, which is the knife that you were talking about last week, Dennis, the clip point Giant Mouse.
it certainly is. Yeah. And what was the other one he was carrying?
The MKM Farah, F-A-R-A.
Yeah,
Is that the new weird kind of claw-looking thing?
I think it's that knife, but I think it has a different like 3 different blade shapes, right?
Okay.
I haven't watched that Blade HQ, the Blade HQ video yet.
That is
So,
fair.
true. Zinx is saying that all he's been carrying is his SE ever since he got it, which I totally understand. It's a new knife. You're going to carry it. I almost came home with a, what's it called? The Artisan Cutlery Tomahawk twice this weekend.
That thing's fun.
Oh,
I just got to see that.
The fixed-bladed tomahawk, not the folder.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just got to play with that thing today. It's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Nick is with us here. Dragon Icer is Nick from Instagram, nick.m.89.
Right on.
He is with us all the way from like 7 hours in the future or something like that. 8 hours in the future.
Jeez.
It is late as balls, so I appreciate you being on, brother.
Yeah. Appreciate the efforts for sure, man.
That's it.
So what are we getting into today, boys?
Today we have a few things we can talk about. Things and stuff.
Got
Stuff and things.
Got some knives.
Yeah.
Got some questions.
You know what? It's a tried and true thing that we've been doing, and it seems to be working so far, so we might as well stick with it. Do we want to start with the knives this week? We actually missed the knives last week.
Yeah.
But they were Chinese-made Kershaw, so no one's feelings were hurt by missing them.
That's true.
This week we've got some stuff to show off for sure. So
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So yeah, let's show off then.
All right. So where do we want to start? Do we want to start with the Kershaw that should be a ZT?
Let's do that.
okay.
Or should we go the other direction? We can go either way.
We'll get there, but
We can go whichever way.
all right.
We're starting with the ZT.
Talk a bit, Paul.
I am talking now. Look at me go. It is 3:23 a.m. for Nick. Dude, go to bed.
Good efforts, bud.
Yeah, we appreciate you. 20 CV, G10 handles, steel liners, maybe titanium liners. Now that I'm looking at it, it's likely to be titanium liners.
I would guess steel just because of the price point. Yeah.
They are definitely steel.
For me, I was going to say the weight. Yeah.
But on that note, price point is silly on those guys.
So a ZT that you can get in 20 CV for about half the price of most of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not quite half, but
Yeah, about there.
60%.
And I've got a prediction right now.
Yeah.
Nigel just wishes that it was just a little bit bigger.
Actually, no, it's not that bad.
Oh my
Really?
goodness.
That is funny.
Yeah.
I do
like
how pointy it is.
Mm-hmm. Like it's squishy, but it's not like I'm hanging off.
Okay.
And it's got enough finger choil that you don't have to worry about going too far out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're actually quite nice little knives. I like them.
Yeah. And like you said,
What you're getting, man.
ZT. When was the last time you saw a ZT for that kind of price? How many years ago?
5 years ago.
Yeah. I can't even remember.
Put it in perspective, ZT 350 is still more expensive than that knife is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the 350's been around for a decade as a flagship model, and it's great. But the 350, in my mind, should be like what a Griptilian is in the bench. It's a baseline. It's a starting price type of thing, right?
Is that what an S35?
S30.
S30.
Straight
Oh,
S30.
So I mean, yeah, and it's a beefy knife, and you get a lot of meat for your money type of thing, right? But this new one, if this is where their baseline is, I applaud them. Jesus. Yeah.
No doubt. I guess go on to the other one as well,
Yeah.
which is the Kershaw, this is the knockout, right? I keep
Yes.
getting the knockout and the bare knuckle confused in my head.
It's a knockout.
Yeah, it's good. Carbon fiber. You can actually see carbon fiber. Look at that go. Nice acid, stone washed acid finish on the blade. This one's M390, right?
Yeah, that's the limited edition knockout they just came out with. Yeah.
Limited edition. Is it like a sprint run? Is there a limited number of them made?
I believe so, but I don't know what that number is off the top of my head. They did a bunch. They did a yellow-handled leak with a reverse Tanto blade. They did a carbon fiber M3 bare knuckle, which is the other one that looks just like the one you're holding. And then there was something else too. There was a fourth one, and then they just recently announced a fifth one that we all know about. But
Nice.
yeah, so they've done a handful this year that were like limited edition sprint run things that you could only order off of Kershaw's website for the most part, but then some international dealers did get their chance to get a couple of the options, and that M390 knockout was one of them. So
it actually surprises me, and I know that Kershaw and ZT, while they are like sister companies owned by the same parent company, they are separate entities. But ZT, they friggin' serialize every knife that comes off the line.
Mhm.
And this thing doesn't have a number on it as a limited edition, and it's weird.
But none of Kershaw's limited editions. They've been doing limited edition blurs for how long, right?
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. Like I said, they're separate companies, and that shouldn't surprise me. But because until recently, I thought they were more closely related. It is a little bit surprising.
Especially when more or less every other knife company, especially the American knife companies, will do that. They'll number limited edition variants of things.
That's exactly it.
But ZT, although they serial number their blades, they don't print a limited edition number on their limited edition knives either.
They sure don't. Yeah, my 560 CBCF doesn't have any kind of indication that it's limited. It's just, there's your serial
That's
number,
fair.
there's your steel.
Yeah, there's a serial number. There's not a serial number of a specific number made.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing,
I guarantee. Go ahead.
I just hadn't clued in to the fact that the knockout was actually limited edition, and that kind of makes sense concerning the price point. Because I was looking at the two, and it's like I can see a bit of a price increase for the carbon fiber, but it's a pricey thing by comparison. But the limited edition makes sense.
For sure. Just want to quickly interject here. John wants to know if you're drinking wine, Dennis.
I certainly am, brother. I certainly am. It's a nice Merlot. It's a nice Merlot.
Yep. And Justin saying here that he wishes the 357 had like 2% more in the handle.
Like, I wouldn't complain if it was bigger, but it's not something that I pick it up and instantly go, I wish it was bigger.
Well, and 2% isn't that much. I could agree with a 2% increase.
Yeah.
He's also talking about being able to put your thumb farther up the blade and how he wishes there was a finger twirl. And that spot right there fits so nice on this knife. I don't know if I need to be all the way out by the tip on this guy.
I'm putting money on the fact that Nigel and myself can both do that.
Yeah, without having to. That's probably true.
Yeah. It's our version of the Ben test with his index finger on the knife. But instead of having the index finger on the knife, we do the thumb test with just like how far out you can go.
So Justin, what they're saying is your fingers are too stubby.
I'm just saying.
Reference size, this is a large Guptillion, and it's like 3/4 of the size of it for the length.
Now they're just bragging.
Coming from two guys that are well over 6 feet tall, so
you're just jealous, Carney hands.
They put the wrong knife I had there, but they put a spot right there for my thumb. It fits real nice,
and it does fit really nice if I'm like in a non-weird grip. But if I decided to like go all out on that grip, for sure I could get probably.
Oh yeah, you could get way out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that, or neither one of Dennis or Nigel, like Joe was saying, it's not surprising. But again, this is 350 for the knockout. Is it 3 or 350?
I thought it was 3 Canadian.
Okay. So for an extra $50 or say $30 to $40, you can get a Kershaw over a ZT.
Well,
That seems backward.
It's I think it's $229, or I think it's like $230, or yeah, I think it's $230 for the stonewashed ZT. And it's it's like a $70 difference for the Kershaw.
I had it reversed in my head. I was thinking $270 for some reason.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's I believe it's $239 for the stonewash, $249 for the
wash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And $300 for the knockout. But at the beginning of us streaming here, you talked about the knockout that should have been a ZT.
Yeah.
And I have it wasn't that particular variant of the knockout belonged to be a ZT. I've always thought the normal knockout was way too nice to be in a Kershaw catalog. I thought the normal knockout should have started with S30 and had a ZT logo on it. It's a new knife. It only came out 6 years ago, 5 years ago. What was it now? Like it's relatively new on the market compared to
the knockout
other
itself.
Kershaw models. Yeah.
Is it really that old? Jeez. Yeah.
4 or 5.
Sure.
4 or 5 sounds right. Yeah.
I would actually say 5 because I'm pretty sure it was even before ownership traded hands, cutting edge, whatever type of thing. The knockout was around before that, and we're pushing on a 5-year.
It was still pretty new to the game back then. I didn't even know this knife existed until it showed up on our shelves.
But the green one with the Sandvik steel.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And that knife deserved to be better. They did do a chocolate brown handle with LMAX.
Yeah.
As like an exclusive. It might have been certain stores had it, but yeah. And even still, for a Kershaw, you're like, aluminum subframe with LMAX? Are you sure that belongs in that branding? Like,
yeah.
It's a little
you guys have it. Yeah. Have some fantastic knives on your shelf, but Kershaw also has some very questionable models as well. Like,
yeah, of course. I would argue, though, now that I'm thinking about it, there is something to be said that there are a number of guys out there that Kershaw is the be-all, end-all as far as they are concerned when it comes to a knife.
Yeah.
This is as good as it gets. So if you make a fancy version of a Kershaw, you might catch those boys going, well, I can have one fancy knife.
Open up their eyes a little bit and expand their knife world.
That's exactly it. Guys that would never even think about picking up a ZT.
And that's just
and there's a lot of guys with the logo on it.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna say, there's so many guys who like ZT, and they all know about Kershaw. Kershaw's not some kind of secret to them, but chances are, if you own a Kershaw knife, you may not know about ZT.
But yeah, exactly. It doesn't work both ways, for sure. There's a lot of people that just know Kershaw from the history of Kershaw because they were around, I want to say 70s, if not, like I know 80s for sure. But I believe they even date back to the 70s, if I remember correctly.
Fair enough.
I want to say 77.
Yeah, it's in that 78, the same time as Pacific Cutlery jumped on board, which was Benchmade. They all sprouted up all around the same time, right? But yeah, I think that a lot of people know Kershaw from being a 90s brand that was prolific and don't know the Kershaw or ZT that just had an anniversary 10-year whatever type of thing has been around for the next step in the evolutionary food chain, right? So
yeah, for sure. Oh, hey, I'm knocking stuff over. I'm breaking shit.
I'm throwing shit around over there.
We're down.
It's only a knockout. It'll be fine.
Throw your own shit.
Oh.
That belongs to the cutting edge still. Damn it.
I will say this: both of them very slender in the pocket. That's actually where the sound came from. I had them standing up on the keyboard shelf of my desk, and they got knocked over because they're very flat. You know, lay them down, so make a noise.
I am curious about the weight of the ZT. I know the carbon fiber from the knockout is super lightweight, but I am curious what the ZT 357 weight is.
For sure.
And the thinness is one of the things that I've always loved about the knockout, of how slim in the pocket it is, but it's still very hand-filling.
Most definitely.
And it's similar to Spyderco's, like a PM2 or a Delica Dura, where they're not necessarily a fat knife, but you still notice them in the pocket because of the width that they take. And I think the Knockout actually has that beat a little bit because of how slim it is. It's like a bug out slim type of thing, right? But
just want a quick shout out to Francis,
Good evening.
one of the local boys here in town. It's nice to see you here. What are you carrying in your pocket tonight, brother?
I'm scared. I'm scared on what he's going to tell us.
I know he's got something nice, that's for sure.
While we're waiting, the weight on that ZT is apparently 4.3 ounces.
Okay. It's a little bit of a hefty monkey, eh? Steel liners, I guess.
It is specifically, like, you can feel a significant difference between the Knockout and the 357. Also a shout out to Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Ben Pienig? Pienig?
Yep.
I know you from
That's
Instagram.
his-
I see you.
Has
he does
his
a lot
name
of
for his
free
Instagram handle.
Yeah. Oh,
We talk
actually,
bushcraft a lot.
Francis is really rocking the mini bug out tonight. Nothing too fancy.
Yeah.
All right. Repping the company for us.
That's it. We do appreciate the fact that both of these gentlemen here, first time viewers. So,
Excellent.
at least of the live stream specifically.
Yeah.
Francis is saying it's a shorts kind of day, which is basically what Justin was saying earlier. So,
Yeah.
I totally get it.
So, Justin, you need to take a lesson for Francis, and
Some shorts on.
well, there's a
Get
mini
a
bug
mini
out.
bug out.
That's just the answer, right?
That's actually a fair point. What the hell, Justin?
Like the only reason I've got the lucky one, right, from Cold Steel, and it beats a mini bug out any day of the week. So
Yeah.
that's my short knife, but I was fully jeaned today. So
He hasn't said it yet, but I fully expect for Justin to respond back with he's waiting for the K390 Dragonfly to show up.
Yeah.
That's a good sweatpants shorts knife.
Yeah, fair argument.
And on that note, why isn't he carrying some sort of variation of a Dragonfly? I know
He has enough of them.
He's got all of them.
For the weight of them, you could just carry a whole variety along your pocket edge. What steel do I want to use right now?
I have a question for all you guys about these nabs. If you had to pick one or the other, which one would you pick?
For me, I'd be tempted just because, hey, limited edition, carbon fiber, stainless steel lock insert, yeah, or lock bar insert. Yeah, I'd go with the Kershaw.
Is that stainless or were you saying aluminum, Dennis?
The frame's aluminum. I don't know about the lock bar.
The lock bar's got to be steel.
The lock bar is steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The standard green, that thing's aluminum, but that guy's just all carbon fiber.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I'm up to speed.
I'm kind of on the fence because I think I like the knockout better in hand, but as far as like a city carry, I think the 357 is less scary, potentially just because it's a lot slimmer, more gentlemanly sort of a blade.
Yeah, I can see that.
They're both scary. They're spring-loaded, pointy.
Yeah.
I will say this though, as far as like the uninitiated, when we get customers coming into the store uninitiated, they find the big wide blades much scarier than the thin narrow blades. I've sold people on fax and things like that think that a Spyderco is too scary because of how leaf shaped that blade is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mean looking. Like
Yeah.
I sold a guy a CQC, a Kershaw CQC. I think it was a 10. No, that's the big moose hunter.
Like a
the
4XL?
smaller variants. Yeah.
4XL or the 6 is the ones that we have in the shop.
It would of the ones that we have in the shop. I think it was like a 6. The smallest
The
stuff.
classic draw point one type of yeah.
Yeah, because the Spydercos were too scary, so he bought the CQC. Because it didn't look too self-defense-y, tactical.
The one with the wave. He chooses the one with the wave over. That's hilarious.
I
You
did
don't know
not
what the
inform him
wave
what that
is.
wave was for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that conversation didn't come up. So
No, he didn't need to
Yep.
know. He didn't ask about it. He was happy with his knife choice.
I picked the 357. I was blown away by that knife. I'm super impressed.
You were that close to pulling the trigger on one.
I put one in the back room for myself. I did.
Wow.
Fair.
Actually, this one right here.
Yeah, I certainly did. Because does that mean that we don't have a stonewash? Or no, we still do.
Hey, Paul,
Yeah, okay.
you should just grab some paper and cut something.
Justin bought the blackwash one, and Justin's with us tonight. Yeah.
I should also point out Justin's feeling very seen right now.
I
Sorry,
understand.
brother.
I understand.
Don't mean to put you on display.
But yes, the 357, like I said, I put one in the back room because price point for 20 CV and a ZT, I will say, getting them across the border, I think they're still playing the tightening game, but distributors are now loosening them so retailers don't have to. But they're over loosening now to the point where the blade play is significant and the centering is garbage. So if you are getting a Kershaw or a ZT, I do recommend popping it open and adjusting the pivot to find that sweet spot, because all of them had that sweet spot way better than a Benchmade, I got to admit. You could find it way better, but it was bad when they came in. So
there is a lot of blade play in this knife right now. And it also is not centered.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you tighten that out, will that fix both the centering and the play issue?
It 100% will. Yes. Every single one that I tightened in the shop for the ZTs that just came in,
this is
got centered as well as snugged up. Yeah.
I was gonna say the one he held up though was the Kershaw, so I'm curious.
Yeah.
I've seen it go both ways, but American-made Kershaw. Hopefully everything's nice and flat.
It is leaning the correct way to be fixed by, like, the lock bar kind of, like, it's leaning away from the lock bar, and I feel like that gets fixed by adjusting the pivot easier than if it's going the other direction a lot of the time.
Most times.
Show the camera.
Huh?
Show the camera.
Let's show the camera where we're sitting.
Yeah, the centering.
The 357, or is that the...
That is the knockout.
That's the knockout. Yeah. And the ZT's dead nuts on, hey?
Or close.
There we go.
Pretty damn close.
Damn near dead nuts on. And this one's like, it's not scraping, but it's not far from hitting that...
It's not scraping either.
It's not far from scraping, that's for sure.
You have a handful of microns.
Quick comment. Francis is saying that he wants a K390 Dragonfly as well, which means that I am fighting even more people for them, so that's fair.
I'm probably going to hold off on a K390 Dragonfly. My purchases got ahead of me this year, and they're not done. So... the K390 series from Spedico might get put on the back burner, so I might be one less person you have to worry about. Yeah,
I like to hear. So tightening up this blade, I turned the screw less than like a 1/16 of an inch in a turn, like barely turned it, and it locked up so tight it wouldn't move the blade when I tried to pull the blade out by hand. So this one is not getting any more centered, unfortunately.
Maybe a question of loosening those body screws and then basically resetting the tightness.
I'm going to blame Paul for dropping it.
Way to go, Paul.
No, that thing was out. It was damaged. No, it was out of alignment before we even took it off the shelf.
Do you realize how many of our customers now realize that we're going to have a discounted M390 knockout sitting on the shelf?
12. I know exactly how many. I can see that.
There you go.
But 12 is a record for us, so cool with that.
So that's great.
Francis is also saying customers first, Paul, which, that's fair.
Well, what's the benefit of working at a knife shop then?
Okay.
I just had to be smart.
Let me just settle some questions here. On certain products, the employees will get a first crack at certain products. On other products, customers will get first crack on
For
those
most products, customers will
Totally
get first
depending
crack.
on
For the record, I am more than happy to wait and pull one out of the other shops. So that is more than likely what I'll end up doing.
Yeah, still
Another
a few from
factor is
Winnipeg.
that they're not a sprint run. The new K390 stuff apparently is around for an entire year. So that's another thing where it goes, customers get first when it's not a sprint run, when it's not a limited edition, when it's not a flash batch. Hint, hint. That, if employees want them, they might get first crack at the can because we're as much of the nerds and the collectors as anyone else is, right?
Yep.
And we don't resell on Kijiji.
No.
It's
I use all my shit, damn it.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting confirmation right now from Justin saying that when it comes to Kershaw's speed safe, a lot of the speed safe stuff likes to sit a little off-centered because of the spring tension on it.
I could see that.
Of the knife. Which, again, if the blade is not rubbing the scale, it doesn't matter. I keep biting my tongue, and it's really starting to annoy me. Just a little bit, just enough. It's like death by 1,000 bites.
Just enough to feel
You should stop doing that.
But my question is, it has a torsion bar in the ZTs as well. So why don't you see it occurring in the ZTs as much as you do in the Kershaws?
Tighter
because
tolerances.
They have different tooling.
It could be
What was that, Paul?
As a different tooling. Because they are two separate companies. They might have a slightly different way of coming around to the same end result, right?
Yeah, for sure. And that's ultimately what I was kind of getting at is your fit and finish and your tolerances are paid more close attention to probably in a ZT factory than they are in a Kershaw factory. And that's just a fact of it, right? So
the other thing too is
really
the amount of flex you get through your handle materials too. That may play a role in tightening things up, like carbon fiber versus steel liners. The steel liners are going to hold their flatness way better, and parallelness. Parallelability.
I'm pretty sure Joe just made up a word. But
No, parallelability is the made-up word.
What I was going to say is I had made the assumption for as long as I had known about ZT and Kershaw and how they were sister companies, I had made the assumption that all of the American-made stuff for ZT and Kershaw was made in the same factory, and recently learned that that is not the case.
Did San Remo open an American factory too?
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah, I'm not going there.
Well, yeah.
Come on, it was funny. It's funny.
Yeah, but I mean, there's going to be a certain subset of the community who's like, "Oh, you bought Voking knives? They're from Stedman and they're Chinese and therefore bad." Like, people get
Voking is from Stedman.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, they're related. I can't tell whether Voking knives is like a parent brand or an offshoot of Stedman, but I know they're related.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We got a hey guys from Caleb Bounds.
Hey, Caleb.
I think it's Bounds. That's what I'm going to say it as, and I'm probably wrong. And you're just going to have to accept that I'm going to pronounce basically everything wrong.
Just a wild shot in the dark, and I could be wrong, but is that Everyday Caleb from Instagram?
It might be.
We'll wait for confirmation.
I was also thinking it might be the gentleman that came in to the shop on Friday that we were chatting with the HEA and the.
Oh yeah, for sure. Either way, let us know.
Yeah.
And what are you carrying tonight? We might know just because of what you're carrying tonight.
What he said.
I do like that some people tend to have a style of carrying knives that they typically prefer over others, and because I don't know, I'm used to seeing people's collections online. It's like, all I collect is PM2s. I'm like, great, that's you and how many other people.
Okay, but there's something to be said of being a fan of the brand But
Yep.
even those hardcore collectors of like the PM2s, you see them rock other stuff other than PM2s.
Oh yeah.
And if you're following them on Instagram on a daily basis, there's still other brands that they're like, yeah, you know what? This is a nice knife or whatever.
Mhm.
I just happen to have 40 PM2s, right? So
That doesn't just
like,
happen by accident.
Yeah.
Just
For the
saying.
record, I was correct. Caleb is the gentleman that came in Friday and bought the Wee Knives little kukri neck knife.
Very cool.
awesome, man. Caleb, glad you joined us.
Ben is also asking us what we feel or what our thoughts on Best Tech is. And I don't really have any thoughts. I've never handled a Best Tech.
You have handled the Best Tech.
Lies.
No, you have.
Oh.
The little.
Go back and watch our video.
Remember the little
The
skinny.
Heidi.
Yeah.
The Heidi Blacksmith.
I couldn't remember the name, but the little skinny carbon fiber handles, D2 blade.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking
Mosaic
all right,
pins.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
For me, I don't know how accurate this is or not because I've had the sample size of one that I've ever.
Yeah.
Wait a sec. No, that's not true. I think Quinn actually brought by some Best Tech, didn't he?
You bet he did. You played with Best Tech when you bought your Steadman knife.
That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I would almost say that they're on par with Artisan in terms of fit and finish. I like a lot of their designs, and if the build quality is as good across the board as the sample size that I've had, then I would put pretty good confidence. If you like the way it looks and you like the stats, you're probably gonna like the knife.
What I was going to say on the subject was that I had heard about some kind of controversy with Best Tech, but I hadn't heard anything about what the issue actually was. And other than maybe the one or two that I've handled that I've liked, I've never had anything to complain about.
Dennis, do you know what the controversy is? Because I've heard nothing.
I do not know what the controversy is, but I put them into the category of all the awesome Chinese stuff coming out right now. Paul, what are you going to say, brother?
I was just going to say, what's going on, Mr. Fisk? Hola, people of the North.
Good sir of the South, I'm glad you're with us. So.
Indeed. Even though he's more norther than he was before.
We're going to get him slowly. We're just going to get him.
Absorb him like an amoeba.
Yep.
Unfortunately, switchblades are illegal up here, so we probably will never get them.
That's true. All right.
What I will say about Best Tech, though, like CJRB, Artisan, Savivi, Steel Will, all of these guys, take a close look at them because bang for your buck on budget models. CRKT should not be winning Budget Knife of the Year every single year at the Blade Show. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
These boys need attention, for sure.
The best knife for my money on the budget end, I'm going to say, has been the Real Steel Griffin.
Yeah, Real Steel's another one. For sure it is, yeah.
For $70, a drop shut button lock with the secondary lock, no movement in the blade when closed, or open rather, and it's 14C for $70 Canadian.
Yeah, how do you go wrong?
And CRKT over here with their bullshit Oz 8 and their $120 pocket
got
knives.
Caligo. We got the Caligo, which was like the blade knife of the show or something, and then the CEO, which won budget the year before, and then come on, guys.
Don't like the CEO.
I like this. Designs.
That's not what the people are saying. That's for sure.
Yeah,
these knives are not the budget knives of the year, according to the guys. I agree with that. Yeah.
We got a few more comments here real quick. Comment from Outlaw, who's a new sub of ours.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining.
We're curious as to what your guys' favorite beater knives are. But before we get to that answer, Mr. Fisk is saying the mouth of the South ain't going no farther. Also, Cody, we all know Cody, is saying what's going on. Pokey Factor is the bomb, which we appreciate, man.
Awesome.
We try to be.
Makes me
smile.
I'd
just like to say dirty to Mr. Fisk.
Yep.
Being the mouth in the South. Oh my. Hey, either or. And hey, Cody, glad you could join us.
Yes, most definitely. What's going on, buddy?
I'll lead off on the beater knife right off the hop. Contigo, beat the crap out of it. Oh my goodness, Contigo, and Mr. Fisk is in the chat tonight. So
Nice.
yeah,
Yep.
for sure. This thing I wail on. I'm not nice to it at all.
I'd probably say, as far as brand goes, Cold Steel. As far as like go to, you can abuse it and beat the piss out of it sort of stuff. Yeah.
Most definitely.
But your own go-to beater knife.
This is probably the D2 Reptilian that I have.
Yeah,
But I do have a Cold Steel Spartan that I have definitely abused.
Yeah.
And I know we went on a camping trip or a hiking trip there a couple weeks back, and Nigel brought out a couple Cold Steel machetes.
Oh,
and
they're so much fun.
We were clearing some areas, and
Nice.
he's like, no, chop into the dirt. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's what I bought them for. So there was rock damage. That's all I'm saying. There was rock damage.
It
That
happens.
is funny.
That's awesome. I was going to actually throw out Condor as a brand, and specifically either the large or small Hudson Bay. Those knives, I won't think twice about doing anything with that knife, including throw, even though I know that that will destroy the wooden handles if I do it. That knife's not going anywhere.
Okay, yes, and no, but I don't know if you saw the pictures going around about the Condor Hudson Bay that had snapped in half batoning.
No.
No.
Yeah, broke right down the middle.
Wow.
Type of thing.
That must have been on the high side at the 55 Rockwell or something.
And, or a flaw in the steel, which has been known to happen sometimes, right?
Yeah.
With budget steel like that, where it's done by recipe from factory to factory, yeah, who knows? Because it's just 1075, right?
One of the first comments was Condor going, send us a DM about warranty. So they were on it as soon as they saw the picture.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah. So give them props where props is due. And 99.9% of the time, I've wailed on enough Condors, I don't care. But yeah.
That's it. Just a quick comment that Nigel made Mr. Fisk facepalm, and then there's a big old Contigo in the chat.
Nice.
I am victorious.
Yes.
This is my go-to beater.
Yeah.
It's
a fair answer.
Yeah, partially because I want to see where this thing begins to fail, and partially because it's just so much freaking fun to use. Chisel ground as it is. I've been very rough with this S35, and it is very fun. But
okay,
if you want a
Joe,
production answer,
I'm just curious though. Yeah. Like rough is in like Nigel or me rough, or like Nigel is in like, I scrape.
He uses it as a scraper on metal.
Yeah, I remove burrs off of machined steel plates with it, so I abuse it pretty hard. That's
an acceptable answer.
I'll pry with it. I'll
dig with it. Rough.
Yeah. There was at one point when I was testing this initially, I just had it in a fist and like put a glove on and then punched the hell out of a log just to see what happened to the edge. That hurt my knuckles way more than I thought it would.
Out of a log.
Oh yeah.
He says it's testing, but there was other prior motives to punching a log over and over again with a knife.
Well, this is how you play Minecraft in real life. The first thing you do is punch trees, and I'm not breaking my knuckles. So, but if you want a production knife answer, for a long time this was it. 14C is a wonderful steel. It is tougher than most. Yeah, and it's tougher than most steels available on the market at that price range. So, and it's stainless, so it's very low maintenance. I love it.
Sandvik's a good answer, but I mean, Mora's been using Sandvik for years. So when it comes to a beater knife, like
yeah,
I think Sandvik's a good answer.
Mm-hmm. I'm quite surprised that Joe didn't say his CRKT Sting, quite honestly.
Well, before the Ulu, that was the go-to. For those of you who aren't aware, the Sting is a double-edged dagger CRKT made, drop forged out of 1055, and it is soft, like it is Condor soft, if not softer. You can sharpen it on a pebble if you want it. Just will not hold an edge though. That's
because it's a thick as hell dagger.
No, that's because it's like a 50. Okay, that being said, it's not thicker than this guy. and this holds an edge, and this cuts pretty well at 52-100, right?
But measure the grind and the taper, and I guarantee your sting's a thicker blade from where the grind starts to where the secondary bevel.
I don't know about that.
I guarantee it's a thicker.
I'll agree with Dennis.
What's that?
Up here, where
I agree with Dennis.
But up here, where I'm actually using the knife most of the time, it's gotta be comparable, and the actual stock thickness is probably similar.
I think Cold Steel's doing a much better job on their distal tapering towards the point.
They are.
CRKT is on the Sting.
The Sting in particular, you know what? I'll grab my my Sting for next stream, and I'll take some measurements so we have a definite answer on that. But I'm pretty sure they're comparable.
And I want where the secondary bevel measurements are too, because I bet you the Sting is significantly thicker, not just the middle of the spine, right? So
yeah, we'll get actual stock thickness measurements. I'm thinking probably measuring right in this section here where it's at full thickness, and then measuring again towards the tip once the taper starts. Yeah.
That's fair. Paul, you were going to say?
I was going to say, Justin saying that is an expensive deburring tool, but the nice thing is when you're the guy making the tool, that kind of goes out the window a little bit to a certain degree. You've got to test your products and make sure that they're good before you put them out to other people, right?
I was going to say, as far as prototype testing goes, nothing can beat what Joe is doing in frustration in his backyard against a log. So
just crying, why?
Zinx is saying that Sting is the Sting is way thicker. Mm-hmm. So that's 3 against 1.
Yep.
And I'm not going to get involved because I'm not sure.
Fair enough.
And I was also going to say that speaking of next section of the stream, we're pushed past the 45-minute mark now.
Right.
Yeah, we should grab a drink and reconvene.
Yeah, so we're going to take a quick short little break here and refreshen our drinks and hit the bathroom if needed and all that fun.
Thanks for everyone joining us. I hope you join us in the second half. Hang tight, guys. We'll be back 2 minutes.
We got 14 people right now, so there better be 14 here when we come back.
I'm sure. Let's work with that.
Be back soon, guys.